Welcome to Trip to the Mound. We are the iBaseballChannel podcast. Roy Giovanoni, joined as always by Mike Lacoste. We're back from an exciting weekend that out and about in the lovely Sonoma County up there.
Up in Glen Ellen.
Yeah, we were
at our friends, the Bruce Cohn.
Yes, at the BR Cohn Fall Festival, which again was fine little intersection of food, wine, and music. It was very good times. And of course, if you guys check out a little later, we're going to be posting our first Chin Music review segment where we're going to be talking a little bit about the musical aspect of that show. But again, because we are Trip to the Mound and there's a lot of exciting baseball stuff happening, we're going to dive right in. And again, what we're going to start by talking about is we're going to look at this recent Dodger-Giants series. Again, they had another little matchup, 3 games. We got a chance to see one Giants win, 2 Dodger wins, and of course last night was the stinger because it was the one that allowed them to clinch the NL West championship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of it, quite a bit of it, in and out a little bit, but it was 1-0, and all of a sudden I came back in and there was a bad inning going on, and I saw the highlights, and the 0-2 pitch to Puig was up, come back to him, and he flicked it out of there. And did you get a chance to see the Kershaw triple, or you saw it after the? I saw the replay of it. I didn't see him hit that. The big thing is, of course, for the Dodgers, they are actually doing what they were, built to do, and the big checkbook came out, and Magic come in and says, we're gonna win whatever it takes. Yeah, and now although they are it's not that they're just winning it. It's kind of you can see all their pieces are kind of coming together at the moment. You got Carl Crawford's been injured, quite a bit, and he's doing his thing, and the whole thing. Puig is kind of settled down, although he's still up there, and he's dangerous, a very dangerous guy, and he seems to be to the point where he can control himself, to the degree that he can still contribute and still have his little episodes out there. So as long as they're not too bad.
And he's one of these guys that's hitting 288 in September, 345 over his last week. Like you see,
he produces, one way or another. He comes up and, a big mistake on the Giants, getting thrown out at third base. He just gunned whoever it was out at third.
Blanco.
Blanco.
Yeah.
They're down by, I think 3 or 4 runs at the time, and you just can't make those kinds of mistakes. Now, if they get into the play, this one-game playoff, they better get their game together, because the Pirates are playing some good ball, and they're going to have to play some good ball to beat them, I believe, because you're going to get a real tough matchup, going there. And anyway, so I saw the Dodgers as a real threat now, really, because you start putting that starting pitching together, and that because these guys are going deep into these games, that bullpen is going to be rocking and firing, and so they're going to be tough to handle. Looks like as long as they don't fall apart, with some of the stuff we've seen happen before, where they fall off of the cliff defensively, and the base running and mental mistakes and other things like that. Right now, though, it seems like they got it going on.
Yeah, and also probably one of the bigger question marks for them going into the playoffs is the status of number 3 starter. At the moment, they hope that it's Hyunjin Ryu, but again, he's still coming back from that injury, so they don't know if he's a secure spot for that 3rd spot. Luckily, they've got Dan Herron, who's really been pitching pretty well of late, to be able to fill it. But one other person that you've talked about in this Dodgers formula, and you've talked about him when it didn't work, and especially now when it is working, and that's center fielder, Matt Kemp, now in right field. So sorry about that. But yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's playing now what I think a lot of people, have been looking for him to play like ever since that big year with the so-called,
beast mode.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
MVP type year that he had, Well, injuries, whatever. We've talked about maybe some stuff going on there with Donnie Ball there and some other stuff, and for whatever reason now, things have turned around, and he looks comfortable. You watch him at home plate, with the lumber in the hand. I was checking him out on a couple of plate appearances. He looks comfortable. He's up on the dish, and if you throw anything over that dish and he's looking for it, he's racking it.
Yeah, kind of like what he did.
Hang washout on him too. He's hitting bombs out of there,
like the one he hit against Bumgardner 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a biggie.
Well, he leaned out last night and flicked one and hit a ball right in the right center field gap out there, and it's brought in, I think, at least 1 or 2 runs.
Yep. Yeah, that
tells you right there if you're turning on the gas and staying back and hitting that was a breaking ball that he stayed back on and hit it a line drive to right center.
Yeah. So again, let's move to the other side of the equation. What are some of the things that you take away from the Giants' performance over it?
Well, they were right there all until the 1 inning, and it just took an 0-2 pitch, that lit the fire over there, and then from there things just kind of came unglued for them. If I were the Giants, I would be a little bit nervous right now, and going in there and trying to figure out, you got to be saying to yourself, hey, guys, we're going to have to tighten our game up a little bit. You can't make the base running mistakes and all these kinds of things. And Timmy Hudson threw a really good game up until that 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, and
then things got away from him. Those things can happen against a good team. You can't make when they're off and they're struggling. Yeah, you can get away with mistakes, but Gonzalez and all these guys, man, these guys are all playing well right now, and they're not going to miss a lot of mistakes. So the Giants have to. It's not just one thing with the Giants. Their whole game is down right now, and they're going to have to play some good baseball, I believe, to beat Pittsburgh, and they're going to get a good starter, thrown at them.
Yeah, well, it could be St. Louis at this point too, because that NL Central is still undecided at this point. There's only a game and a half, I believe, separating the 2 teams. So yeah. Pittsburgh comes on strong. Then they're playing St. Louis in that wild card game, and either one, like you said, are those teams where there doesn't seem to be a big margin for error. Now, let me ask you something about this as well, because I think it speaks to a bigger point. It seems like the Giants are also missing that presence of leadoff hitter Angel Pagan, who again is now undergone back surgery. He's done for the year. But to me, it seems like their offense moves a lot different without him at the top of the lineup.
They're missing him a little bit in that lineup, yes. But I mean, come on, at this point, whoever's in there or whatever's going on, it's a whole team effort. It's not just the one guy. You can watch some of the at bats that these guys are now taking, and they're starting to get a little bit over anxious. Pence is going. I don't think you can walk him right now. I'm not sure. A lot of these guys are going out of the strike zone and pressing a little bit or whatever.
Big swings, it seems like.
Big swings, whatever, and swinging a lot of bad ball swings.
Yeah.
I can tell you, it's a tough thing for a hitter. Because I've been on the other side. When you're taking the strikes and swinging at balls, and that is a real difficult thing to overcome and to get the ship, going the right direction when you're doing that. And I think the Giants are doing a lot of that right now, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah, and even though they do have a little bit of a break before this playoff run starts, but even this weekend in the San Diego Padres, they're going to have pitchers presented to them that can continue to feed off of that type of pattern that's been started.
Yeah, and at this time of the year, the other teams, they're even more dangerous now because the pressure's off of them. Some of the organizations and managers are throwing guys in there that you've never seen before, and I got to tell you, if these guys got good stuff or they're swinging a hot bat, and you don't have the right scouting report on them or whatever, you can take a quick offer or they can put a quick 6-7 zeros on you from the mound.
Yeah,
real easy. The Padres are not a pushover. Yes, they have a problem with their offensive situation as well, but you can still watch them day to day, and they come out there and they still beat people.
Yeah,
and so they're going to be a challenge for the Gigantes.